Kim and I met just 2 months ago when she applied to be a client of mine in the Slim on Starch program. At 60 years young and after a lifetime of dieting, she said, "This is it. This is my last shot, and if this doesn't work, then that's that." Well, 2 months later, she's released 20 pounds already, and she's not stopping anytime soon. So before you say, "I can't lose weight after 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, whatever it is," watch this video. You can, and Kimmy proves it.
The last 2 years, I was having a struggle, had a major loss in my family. My mom passed away, and I just started using food for my comfort and medication, you know. And I know I could just picture her saying, "Come on, Kimmy, get back on the bus." I fell off, and here I am again. I tried Weight Watchers, restricting, counting calories, writing everything down, probably just about everything everyone else does. I have been a caregiver for over 26 years, and it kind of dawned on me. It's like, people that need help call me and I help them. And it's like, well, why can't I call Emmie and have her help me? It's okay to ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It shows you how strong you really are. It's hard to put yourself out there. I was feeling very uncomfortable in my own skin. I had tried and tried and tried to get back on track. I would lose a few pounds, like maybe 10 pounds, and then I would gain it back. And I just really couldn't figure out, what am I doing wrong? That was one of the last straws. I mean, my pants were getting so tight, and I refused. I'm like, I am not buying a bigger pair of clothes, pair of pants and stuff. So I just couldn't get on track. I mean, I kept watching your programs, your videos and stuff. And I was so inspired by all the other people that were having success with it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that'll work for me. That's probably typical. It's like, I've been doing this since I was a kid. I had problems way back then. And so, yeah, I kind of thought, well, this is my last straw. If I can't do it this time, I'm just going to be fat the rest of my life. And I had really kind of given up. And that's why I pulled the trigger. I'm like, I just hit the button. I'm like, I got to ask Emmie for help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yes, I have lost during the 6 weeks program, which I just got done with. I lost nearly 14 pounds. And I have lost, no, I think it was more than that. I think it was 16, wasn't it? And I am just short of 20 pounds right now. So yeah, and I'm still doing it. I'm going to keep on doing it.
How does it feel for you to say that?
I actually feel pretty proud of myself, Emmie. I really am. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. That I don't really have to try to figure this thing out anymore. You and my team have helped me do that, figured this thing out. I'm not by myself anymore.
And you pointed out something that I want to talk about, which is asking for help when you are in the position of always being the helper. When you're in the position of always being the helper, to think of yourself as the helpee, if you will, is really foreign territory. You say, "This isn't me. I'm always the one helping other people," which, just a little secret here, it's usually the people that are always helping that need the most help themselves, because there's never any time for self-care. But asking for help is a sign of self-awareness. It's a sign of self-respect. And it's something that I personally very much respect. When people get on a call with me and they come to meet me and they say, I'm so embarrassed, I say, I'm so impressed that you're taking the time out of your day to talk to me and you're putting yourself first. It's something that I very much respect. So the fact that you had this epiphany after 26 years of caregiving, I'm so happy that you did, because you're so deserving of what you've achieved so far in SOS.
Thank you, Emmy. I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to try to appreciate myself a little bit. It's okay to love yourself. If you can't love yourself, how are you supposed to love other people?
Mhm.
And it does show a sign of strength, I think, when you can reach out and say, I need help. You can't always be on the other end. Being a middle child, you always try to fix everything, and that's kind of been my role forever. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it makes a world of difference when you're able to think past all of the other outside voices and stuff and just really concentrate on trying to do something constructive for yourself.
Mhm. I think very simply put, asking for help is a sign of strength. So I'm really happy that you brought that up and that you asked for help, because otherwise we wouldn't be having this interview right now. So
Yeah.
success was yours because of it.
Yeah.
So heading into the program, you said, this is it. I'm giving this my all, because it's this, or I'm just going to be done with this whole thing.
Right.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Like I said, I've struggled this whole time with food, and I really wanted to jump into this 100%. Um, I needed, it's not that I haven't lost weight before, but being able to keep it off. And I did at first for about 4.5 years, but then I got to the point where I really, really needed some tools. I needed some guidance and accountability. Because I find myself, and I don't know about other people, but when you're being accountable to someone, you're going to be doing a heck of a lot better than doing it on your own. And so yeah, that was the that was the key, I think, to just realize that, Kim, you can't do this on your own anymore. You've tried and tried and tried. And so I just, like I said, I've watched your videos so much. I've wanted to click that button so bad. And it was like, then do it. Just do it, So I did, and I have been so grateful. I think about the tools and everything that you've given me, and my mindset coach and my nutritionist. They just like nailed it for me, and taking pictures for 6 weeks of everything that went in my mouth, it's just kind of etched in my brain now. This is how you do it. No, this is how you do it. And without that before, I was mindlessly just shoving stuff in my mouth, and I didn't really have a clue as to what I was really eating.
Well, let's talk more about the achievements, because you achieved so much so quickly. It was really spectacular. I know that one of the things that we wanted to work on coming into the program was that food was on your mind all the time. Can you talk about that a bit?
Constantly. I would go to bed thinking about food. I probably dreamed about food. I don't know. I don't remember my dreams, but then, you wake up and you're thinking about, oh, what am I going to have for breakfast? And I work. So, I'd have to either eat my breakfast early or take it with me, which I could do either one. But yeah, I actually, and I know that, you're going to know this already, but I just can't believe I go for like hours without thinking about food sometimes. That is brand new to me. It's so liberating. I was a slave to it before, and now that I realize that it's there for my purpose, for me to use, not for it to use me, it's made a huge difference. And again, the plate builder, how I'm supposed to build my plate, and just sticking to it. I have gotten so much out of this. Even, my husband's like, man, you're really different. You're doing great, Kim. he's my biggest cheerleader. Oh my gosh, I just love that man so much. Um, I know we're going on our 39th year this year together, married. So next
Gives
year's our
me
big four.
goosebumps. That's amazing.
But yeah, he's noticing, and he even said, no, I think I might start eating like you. So, I mean, he's like the world's easiest person in the, you know, universe to cook for. He's just so good. He'll eat anything that I make. So yeah, I'm gonna break him in on a little bit more, I think.
There you
Oh
go. With a
yeah.
energy like yours, Kimmy, it's hard to not be interested.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I'm sorry, kind of got on this little rabbit trail, but the way that this program is designed, it helps you find those spots that you can't figure out. It's like, well, what am I doing wrong? Oh, there, yeah, that's it. That's it. So with your help and my other coaches, I was able to see where I was messing up.
Yeah, I think it's a number of things that have contributed to your success. And what I see and saw most with you, Kimmy, is this time around, you are really on your own team and you have a lot more compassion for yourself this time. You're a lot more in tune with what you truly need. One of the things
Yes.
that we talked about was before we started working together, you were having trouble listening to your body's cues. And now you
Yes.
feel very aligned with that. So you really are, your brain and your body, the mind body connection is in alignment now. Can you talk a bit about that and what that used to look like?
Oh my gosh, yes. That is like, I think one of the biggest tools that I got out of this whole thing is that I used to eat breakfast, lunch, supper, and snacks. That's the standard way of eating for most people. And then I learned to eat meals or feeds, to have feeds. It's like I can have potatoes and broccoli and legume in the morning if I want to. I don't necessarily have to have that for breakfast. But what was very, very liberating for me is that, and what I learned, I can trust my body now to tell me when to eat, how much to eat, and when, what, and how. I mean, it's all those. It's very liberating, really. I mean, I know I keep using that word, but when you don't know something and you just find it out, it's like you want everybody to know about it. So yeah, it's not to say that I haven't like gone off plan at all. I have a few times, but it was planned. Um, the few times that I went off on purpose, but I did have a few things that came up. But I had stuff in the refrigerator. I prepped. You talk a lot about prepping and having food in your refrigerator, and I did that. And so I didn't have to panic when something unexpected came up. I just go to the refrigerator, grab a little this, and this, put it in a container and go. And I didn't have to freak out about it. And, when you go to a restaurant, because before we got to that week, I still did the same thing. I just packed up a few things. I went to the restaurant, ordered a salad and put my beans and rice on it and called it good. And we had a sibling outing. My sister lives out of state. So my sister, my brother, myself, and my sister-in-law and myself, we all went to Mackinac Island. And then we went over to St. Ignace. And I researched this restaurant. I knew exactly what I was going to get. We got there and I said to the lady what I wanted. And she's like, oh, we don't have that. And I showed her the menu. She said, oh, that was like 6 years ago. So I know, I took a deep breath and I'm like, okay. And so my sister said, well, they had this, Kimmy. And so I ordered that. But I didn't freak out about it because the biggest thing, I know I keep saying that because there's so many big things, but I think the biggest takeaway from this is primary foods, you know, going and putting into your life, like filling your life with things that don't go down your throat, into your belly. It's those things that nurture you, that nurture your mind and your soul. And those kind of things. It was like my sister was only here for 5 days. I want as good a time with her as I can get. So we went for it, and I didn't fret about it. I didn't think anything of it. After we ate, it was a done deal. And just that freedom and being able to do those things without planning for everything you're going to eat, because I did bring an extra container of food for later on because it was, several hours away. But yeah, that is just so liberating in and of itself, that you can live your life and not have food rule it.
And I applaud you for taking that stance, because it can be kind of scary if food and dieting has been your focus for all of these years. Once you
Right.
figure it out, it's like, okay, now what? Now what do I think about all the time? Which wasn't a problem for you because you had so many things that you wanted to fill your life with. Do you want to talk
Right.
about what those are? What primary foods you discovered?
Well, I love gardening, and right now it's time for that. So yeah, I planted the garden. I like to go for walks, um, read. I picked up books. I'm starting to read again. That's been really nice. I just got too busy with my life because this program doesn't only address, like food and um, direction just with the food area. It's actually helped me in other areas of my life as well to like prioritize things. But I'm filling my life with spending time with my grandkids. Just that's like number one for me. Um, my husband and I go for little rides together. We just spend time on the back porch drinking, our whatever coffee or whatever we're drinking, and watching the birds and just camping. Love camping. Just making those more of a, not maybe always a daily thing, but at least a weekly thing, putting in as much as we can of spending time with loved ones, just quiet time, things like that. It was really nice. We went up to my aunt's cottage a few weeks ago, and she made Mediterranean food for us. And she said, Kimmy, I'm making this for you. What is it, that you want? And I told her I'm not doing any oil right now. And man, I mean, she just catered to me. It was amazing. And
Wow.
I still lost weight. I had a great big plate full of stuff, and I still lost weight. So that's not the whole reason why I did this. It wasn't just the weight gain, but I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I do have a whole wardrobe of stuff I'm not quite into yet. So that's still on the radar. But yeah.
Well, that goes into another thing that we chatted about coming to the end of the program, which is, wow, the weight loss now just kind of feels like a benefit to everything else that I've achieved.
Yeah. 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 Right now I am working on my body image. Um, I've never been a teeny tiny person. I was a chunky kid. I had some trauma as a child, and that kind of set the stage for some of this stuff. It was not my immediate family, mom, dad, brother, sister, anything like that, but it was something that shaped me for quite a while. And so now I'm working on my body image. Um, I have three. beautiful grown daughters. And all through their growing up years, they heard me degrading myself. I'm so fat, look at my huge hips. My butt's so big. And do I look like that person? Am I that size? Am I her size? Am I that big? And I just really, I feel horrible, horrible and sad that I hurt them that way, as they were growing up. And I've talked to them since then, but I also have amazing grandchildren, and I want them to embrace themselves the way that God made them, and, to just live their life the way He intended them to, that they're beautiful the way that they are. And so, yeah, I did that, but I also, part of the reason why I'm working on this is because I want, um, I want I want to put across to my kids and my grandkids, as well as what I'm learning, is that I am not I'm not a number on the scale, and I am not a size on a piece of clothing. There's so much more to us as human beings than what size we are, or how much we weigh. And we all have gifts and treasures that we can share with other people. And that's what I want to be known as, not, this heavy person. I have to say, though, that my husband and my kids and my sissy never saw my size. They never saw my size. They just saw me. And, I want to help other people with that. So, yeah, it's been a lot of things that I have gleaned from this. The weight loss was nice, and I'm still working on that. But me as a person, and the tools that I received from you and my coaches, are just priceless.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. You are not a number. You are not a size. You are Kim. You're a mom. You're a sister. You're a wife. And that's what we see. Um, yeah. And, with talking about your daughters and what happened there, you were doing your best at that time. And that's important to recognize. You truly were. And if we would have known better, we would have done better. And now that we know better, we do better. But at that time, you
Right.
were doing the best that you could, just like you are right now. And you're doing great right now.
Thank you, Emmie.
Yeah. So, what advice, Kimmy, would you give to somebody who's in the position that you were in before getting started?
You know, I, I'm 60 years old, and I wish I would have done this a long time ago. Don't wait. And like Emmie says, you're worth it. Do this for you, and it will just flow out to other people as well. But, you know, push that button. Do it now. It's worth it.
Cool. Anything else you want to chat about, Kimmy?
Well, again, I just really would love to thank you, Emmie, for taking me on. And can I name my coaches,
Of
or?
course.
Okay. MJ, what a beautiful soul. I just loved listening to her and all the stuff that she said. She was my mindset coach. And Kenza, she's so sweet. She would just like, you're killing it. You're doing great. She was so encouraging. I just, I highly recommend this program to everyone. And I was thinking, before I pulled the trigger on it, is like, I can't really afford it. I can't really afford it. And I talked to my husband, and he's like, do what you got to do. And I I'm so glad I did, because now it's kind of like I couldn't afford not to do it. You get a lot out of it. It's not just a little program you go through and you're like, yeah, well, that was nice. Just like the WW thing, I got that under my belt. No, this is different. It's life changing.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That means so much. And you are
That's a
so
true.
deserving.
Thank you.
Well,
I appreciate you.
if you made it through the whole interview, please comment strength. Because as Kimmy talked about, asking for help is a sign of how strong you really are, and you do deserve to be helped. Special thanks to Coach MJ, who was Kim's mindset coach, and Coach Kenza, who was Kim's nutrition coach. It has been a joy to work with all of you. We love you, honeys, and we'll see you in our next video.